Good morning, Madison Fantasy. We are back, and we are with. If you were to, if you were to tell me that, if you told me a week ago that a man who has refused the podcast, has refused to come publicly into Madison Fantasy chats, would be on the channel twice in one day, I don't know if I would bet on that. I mean, a man does love parlays, but man, I don't know if I would be able to parlay that one. Wait your turn, Pat McAfee, Pat McAfee over there. But I will say that we have two of the world's brightest minds on this podcast today. Okay, I expect intellectual dialogue. I expect peace. I expect probably maybe I think the rants are set at over under 0.5. And I expect zero fights to break out throughout this podcast. So that being said, I would like to welcome our newest guest to the podcast, Mr. Chris McAfee Keitel, to the show.
I was just about to say two things. First off, let the record show I have gone live before, not on a podcast, but I did go live with you once last year for Waiver Wednesday. It was same situation at your kitchen island or whatever. Second thing, I was going to say, will there be an argument or a fight between me and Dan during this podcast? I was going to say, let's set the over-under right now and then let our viewers try to guess before we get to that point.
Oh, and then if you slide into same game parlay alternate fights 5+, you're still getting negative odds.
I honestly don't think it'll be that much. I would set it at maybe 1.5.
I just really hope a fight breaks out over the line. So over what we're setting the line at, just to get the people going, just to get you two going. We're revved up. We're ready to go.
You're our kryptonite. Without you, Chris and I, best buds, you come into the mix.
We figured it out this summer at Geneva. We figured it out.
It is me. It is me. And I am happy to be the podcast host who gets a chance to, rile the two of you cuties up. I mean, Chris was out there. He was squatting 405 today. Bar was bending. Dan was squatting 415 today. Bar was not bending because he doesn't need it to bend.
And you didn't even see a video of it. I could just grind in silence. I could do my own thing. I don't need to post it on every social media and let people know I'm working out.
Yeah, you great. And actually, I heard yours was with dumbbells. So you were holding two 207.5 dumbbells in each hand doing your squats.
I have them special made.
Yeah, love that. Do you guys got any 207.5s in stock?
They didn't. At the Addison gym does not have 207.5s.
But we do know that Addison gym has seen its fair share of buddy curls. All right, we're not going to hop into the PowerPoint quite yet. This is going to be a little bit like I wanted to say Inglorious Bastards, but that's not what I'm thinking of. Impractical Jokesters, or whatever that show is, where I have not seen this PowerPoint. So we are in for something good. If Berg decided to hide a little picture of Harlan in there, we will find out just as you do when you are watching this. So anything that you guys would like to share, welcome our viewership to. Any big things you saw last week?
The biggest thing I didn't see last week is a podcast. And I think that you, as our faithful host, has really been letting the league down.
I appreciate you. Just maybe the fight. You got plus money on fighting with me, so I'm gonna stay awfully tame. That's why I hired Berg as our executive producer so that he can keep us moving. The slide deck is gonna be beautiful. But I am not the one that puts I just get the horses in the stable and they start running. Berg puts the horses in the stable. You can raise your hand and now talk, Mr. Keitel.
I'm just gonna say I know we talked about this in our group chat, but Matt Nick's incredible week 1 to week 2 to week 3 points for was an anomaly. He puts up 70 some points against me in week 1 and I beat him by 5 points. I had like 80 something. And then week 2, he comes out and scores damn near 140 and beats you when you put up 130 something. And
I lost by like 2.
Reverts back to like 70 or 80 points week 3. We're trying to figure out what Matt Nick's team is doing.
He's trying to figure out what his team is
low-key
doing.
really funny Matt Nick moment in the chat was him calling Nick a fraudulent 2-0 team and him saying that he's only a couple points behind Matt Nick in points for. And Matt Nick, instead of going to ESPN Fantasy and looking at points for, just says big if true. I thought it was actually really funny. But we had a good talk with Matt. Yeah, Matt Nick was or should I say Kevin James was actually on the waiver wire earlier today. He was on he was live with us. So let's go ahead and get started here. And then there we go. Desktop 2. All right. The quest for the buckle begins. Let's see. All right, Bert, how do I move this slide deck? There we go. Wow, we have got a lot.
Holy shit.
Berg.
Yeah.
Keep it under an hour, guy. What was that? The big combo last year. Jesus, Berg, we're gonna have to
Oh my god.
Oh my god. All right, strap in. I hope Zoom lets us record for this long. All right, week 3 results, the Ass Man table. This is why we invited Big Brains to the podcast today, to be able to decipher this. So Chris and or Dan, talk us through this.
I'll leave this one to Chris. Chris,
I gotta move.
assess the data.
Faces out of the way. I haven't seen this yet, so this is the first time seeing it.
So, well, question: remaining strength of schedule does not mean anything at this point, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm looking at the wins above expected. I was just curious on what that was, because I know last year at this point, I think I was 3-0, and I think I was right around 2 wins above expected at this point last year. So I was just looking for that right away. Who's like the anomaly? Nick, I see at 1.2, but Nick's also had some very good weeks.
Yeah,
Nick is the anomaly.
Yep. Everybody else
1.2, and Shaw's at -1. I mean, he's had some rough. You know, he had a couple rough bad beats.
Yep.
Matt Nix is hilarious.
He is performing as expected.
Dead last, first place, dead last.
Oh god. Well, we appreciate the Ass Man table here. Average points scored. All right, we've got a high of 118 and we have got a low of Hebert actually of 90.
I was gonna say that's interesting. That's gonna be rough for Hebert to try to, if he's got a remaining strength of schedule, the hardest schedule, right? Then at sitting at 0-3, that's gonna be a tough hill to climb.
I have to say though, I do admire Nick. Little shout out to him for adding in the average points scored and average points against. That's something we didn't have last year, and it's a cool little thing to think about.
Yeah, but the average points against, I don't think, is accurate.
Yeah, I guess it seems a little low.
Good
effort, but maybe get back to
we might have missed. We need Hebert. We need Hebert to spot check this. All right. So here's what we've got. We've learned that Matt Nick is performing as expected. Nick is overperforming by 1.2. Shaw is underperforming. Everyone else out of there. Hebert is probably I'm surprised to see Hebert at -0.8. That's probably my biggest surprise on this table. And then Jake and Dan just have and Hebert have 0 boom potential. So
no bust potential though.
Oh, no bust potential. All right, let's keep moving along here. Merck actually put this together. Jake versus league bench. All right, Chris, what do you see here?
Berg is such a jerk. Oh, this is great. What did Berg say today? He said something about, he would bet that, who was it, that Kirk Cousins or somebody would score more than Geno Smith this week or something, or what was that $1?
Yeah, it was
Joe Burrow.
Smith versus Joe Burrow.
Oh, that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah.
Honestly,
$1.
in this matchup, if you asked me which roster was starting, I would honestly guess the league bench. I think Michael Pittman is a tough start. Garrett Wilson.
Pittman's has the most average target, one of the highest target getters right now.
Isaiah Pancakes is a tough one. I guess Josh Allen would probably give it away, but yikes.
I mean, DJ Moore is brutal.
Yeah.
Has Montgomery even cleared this week yet? Is he expected to play?
I don't think so. I don't think Montgomery ends up playing.
I bet him, Saquon are out. Sorry, Nick. Yeah, this is just a little tough to look at. I do like Berg just putting all of his receivers in there. I threw a few extra options out there, but
interesting.
Yeah,
I got Chris Godwin. I'm representing.
Yeah, I had Christian Kirk in there. I think he might actually get the nod over Judy or Addison. He's been a stud. But I'm excited to see where this comes to. And it's interesting to see that this is Jake's starting lineup. Maybe he hasn't gone in there yet, but I mean, based off of his fab bid, if you believe that heavily in Kenyon Drake to be able to triple his fab bid on Adam Thielen, you would expect to see that man starting week in, week out.
Well, I was gonna say too, I bet he slides in Thielen over Wilson.
DJ Moore, you kind of keep, if you're gonna hold on, if you're not gonna trade Wilson, you gotta just ride him.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
It'll be interesting.
It's not pretty. So, anywho, I know Josh Allen is on the market. I think his asking price is Christian McCaffrey for Josh Allen. So,
Fair.
Yeah, if you've got somebody of equal or better value, feel free to reach out.
I do love there's some buzz in the league that Jake is offering some of the worst trades known to man and just praying to God that someone slips up and clicks accept.
Oh, a little Bergie misclick.
Yeah.
We've been there before. Well, Jake, give Berg a call and start planning out your PowerPoint. So I look forward to it at the end of the season. We should do that. Okay, I would honestly, I know we have our hot dog thing, but if the league isn't opposed to it, just adding in, I think it'd be really fun and not that big of work. Like how it all went wrong. If you're the 12th place league, like what happened in your season to give like a little presentation at the end of the year, I think would be really entertaining.
Yeah. Thinking about my losing session last year, I would not have minded doing that at all. I think people would have understood that I didn't actually lose. I traded myself into submission.
But Dan, you kind of gave a little Dundee speech at Berg's house when you were presented the last place award or whatever, right?
The doormat award.
Yeah.
No, that was the Matt award, I think. And it went to Nick. Bring the doormat.
See, the best part is they clowned you, but him and Berg co-hosting up the hoisting up the trophy was all time.
that was all time.
Come back up here.
We had a clown award. Who was the clown?
I think it was Nick.
Okay.
Clown Clement, I think, was the shawl bit. I don't know.
One last question here. Who is the highest scoring player on these two teams, not including QB, this week?
Jerome Ford. Oh, no, they're going against Baltimore.
I want to say Pittman because they're playing the Rams at home. And
that's a good one.
Richardson is back, and like you said, Pete, Pittman has he's been averaging like 10 receptions a game right now.
I think it might be Garrett Wilson. I think at halftime they put him in at quarterback, so you never know what might be coming out of New York.
I'm gonna guess Jordan Addison on a deep ball.
That could be it too.
We'll see.
All right, we have spent more than enough time talking about Jake's team. This is Chris's playoff predictions. God, I get a little, excited looking at these. Oh my God,
Chris, are you and Pete sleeping together? we gotta get to the bottom of this.
All right, walk us through this. Wait, did Berg put his own name in there, even though you had Shaw beating him?
Oh yeah, he did. What the hell? What the hell? I have my bracket right in front of me. Berg, you prick.
Berg still doesn't believe in himself winning.
Right now, I am projected at 3, but I have a gauntlet the next 3 weeks with Peter, Nick, and Milk. And they are also Peter and Nick are top 2, and Milk right now is 4th. So if I go through that gauntlet and come out with 3 losses, I could be very well sitting at 2 and 4. But I think that I will have enough points for because I have been scoring really well. So that's worst case scenario. Best case scenario, 3-3 or 4-2 or whatever. Like I said, Milk's got a solid team. Shaw is underperforming right now. We saw that in the Assman table. I still think he has a solid team. The trade that we made together and him with Kenneth Walker, he's been a dog the last 2 weeks since the trade. I'll put Berg in there still just because of the bits that he has. He's going to be kind of interesting to see what he does with Nakua and Cup. because he's kind of handcuffed himself there, and what's going to happen that might end up being worst case scenario because they might be splitting reps. But I still don't mind Berg's team. I think he'll sneak in just ahead of me. But yeah, and then you can just kind of see how it plays out. I think Pete and Nick will finish 1 and 2. I think Nick will run into some issues with some of his buys, with his players, his skill players, his top dogs. But so yeah, that's where I am sitting at with my playoff predictions. I have me and Pete in the final, and Pete taking home the championship. Although I do like Christian McCaffrey end of season, who he plays. He's got like Arizona and the Rams, I think, like the last 2 games. 2 out of the 3.
I don't care who Christian McCaffrey is playing. I like him. Put him against Jesus.
Well,
He's still going to go for 25.
So if he puts up like 50 against the Cardinals, then I'm going to be feeling really good at end of season.
Yeah, he's going to pitch it to Brandon Ayuk on the 1-yard line to let him score because he felt bad he was out. Chris, we appreciate you walking us through this. Chris's consolation doesn't understand.
I didn't understand how to like put that together or what was the next step. So
yeah, it's because the 12. It's a little confusing because 11 and 12 get a bye out of the first round. They call it a bye out of the first round, but they don't get allowed. They actually only have 2 chances to not lose. So yeah,
I didn't understand how that worked. But I mean, if I have to pick on the spot right now, I think that Matt Nick wins and Dan wins. And they're out of it. So then it comes down to Toy and Hebert and what did I say, Cole and Jake. And then obviously Jake and Hebert, I don't know where they're at right now, unless they make some drastic changes. And then I have Jake losing it all and wearing a hot dog suit for 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always intrigued to see how Matt Nick manages his fantasy team. You want to talk about big brain fantasy?
That man is using Roto Trade like it's the gospel.
It's because it gives little gifts when you rate your team.
Do this trade now.
We believe you are getting the most valuable asset. All right. As Berg said, I am scared to pick. I think that the playoffs, anything can happen. My bold take of this, I know ours are pretty similar. I think that Nick got Berg at a time where Berg's team was limping, right? Then he got Puka. Berg's had some really good fill-ins. You throw in Zach Moss. I think Berg's in the top tier of teams. I think there's like a top. I actually think these are like the top 6 teams. All of them are pretty even. The only thing that'll put somebody into a tier above is Berg right now. And that is if Jonathan Taylor comes back in week 5 and does not play for the Colts, and he gets the running back oneness out of Zach Moss, and he gets the running back oneness out of Jonathan Taylor. But outside of that, these teams are all pretty even in my opinion. I actually think Shaw finishes 8th, but gets in on points 4. I think he's just running into it. So Nick has already gotten wins against Berg. He's gotten a win against who else he beat? I believe he beat Milk, or he beat 3 guys up here. Chris, did he beat you?
Haven't played yet.
Okay. But he beat 3 guys that I have up here. So I don't know which ones they are. But yeah, and he's got, he paid off going for Alvin Kamara and coming back in week 4, and he's 3-0. So I think Saquon will be out. I think Saquon's injury will be hampering or lingering a little longer than what he would like as a manager of Saquon. So get to the playoffs, anything can happen. My consolation, very similar. Once again, anything can happen. I believe it's either going to be Jake or Matt Nick at the end. But once again, it all comes down to management. I think that Hebert could be starting an all Packers lineup in the consolation bracket. Could be really entertaining, and look forward to watching it. So we'll keep moving along. Dan's playoff predictions.
Couldn't decide in 2 days. I had a lot to think about. I think Nick's team is really coming on. I think it's going to look good. I think he's going to get first seed potentially. I think he's going to choke it. Berg, his team's coming on too, going to choke it as well. Milk's teams look good. Chris's team, it seems like Peter's managing as well. So you got that benefit. Peter's on both his own team and Chris's. Either that or Chris has turned the absolute Goodwill Hunting move in fantasy, because the moves he's made has been tremendous. And then you can flip.
I will say this: the only one that that we talked about that I said add in is why don't you just ask for Elijah Mitchell? I said you should just ask for him. That's the only thing he asked. I've been impressed that he's actually made moves. It was 2 years ago that I offered Chris 4 players for Debo, and he, after an hour on the phone, he said, "Oh, I was just joking with you the whole time, you big dumb idiot."
Yeah, that was that. I didn't even know if Chris has turned a leaf, because last year I didn't try to trade with him once because I vowed to myself that I would never go down that path again after he kept me on the phone for 2.5 hours. And then he started talking about the boat, and I'm like, buddy, get back on track. And he's like, I'm just goofing. I'm not trading.
Yeah, remember the Zach Moss, Chase Claypool trade?
That was a good one. We did pull off some. There were some wows.
Shaw has entered the chat. Chris has been the best manager this year with the moves that he has made, I believe.
I agree. I think he is in the running for comeback manager of the year.
And I had one queued up in the queue today with you that I did not talk to Nick or Peter about.
Okay, well, you also didn't send it, so
no, I didn't send it. I backed
I had one in the queue for every single player in this league that I didn't talk to anyone about, but I also didn't send any of them. So, okay, you flipped my consolation.
Yep.
So you got Milk getting in on points here.
I think he just gets in naturally 6 and points. I think it's
6 and points.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Sounds
think
good. All right. Let's see your consolation here.
Hebert's team stinks. Jake's team stinks. Matt Nick's a terrible manager. Cole's team stinks. Shaw's a terrible manager and his team stinks. And Toy's team also terrible. Shaw has a chance, though.
Shaw does have a chance.
That's my take.
I'd like to see Shaw put in a little more effort. I think it's been a little lacking. He's a little too worried about touring properties and, keeping the lawnmower guy happy. But
yeah, he can get away from that the property management lifestyle and puts a little more time into fantasy. What was that, Chris?
I said, and keeping the good state of Pennsylvania's bridges upright.
He doesn't do that anymore.
No, yeah, they fired him.
Yep.
Oh, was it because of that bridge collapse that happened somewhere? I saw it was
bridge collapse, blood on Shaw's hands. They had to get him. He got out of Philly as fast as possible.
He didn't work on it, but he said
truth comes out.
They said we'll put you as the scapegoat, but we'll give you the professional engineering, because he actually failed the exam. But then they said we'll let you pass if you're the scapegoat. And boom, bada bing, bada boom. He was a PE, kind of like Will Zalatoris. If you saw, he also got his professional engineering degree.
Will Zalatoris would never have to take a dumbass exam like the PE.
Yeah, that's right, because they just handed it to him.
Exactly. Like Temple gave Bill Cosby a doctorate. Sometimes you just get one.
Yeah, hey. Forever. Would you go see him if he was a doctor?
I heard his concoctions were all time.
Not every doctor can say that. All right, let's keep moving along. All right, from Rick Blement. Hello, Fantasy PD. I'm in a fantasy league where someone spent $8 of fab on Kenyon Drake before the season and just spent $24 on Adam Thielen. I'm concerned he doesn't understand how fab works. Any tips for my friend? Thanks. Thank you, Rick Blement. Chris, what are your thoughts here?
Was it 24 or 14?
24. I said my prediction was that Thielen at the end of last week, I said that Jake will have Thielen on his roster. I texted you and Nick, and I said Thielen will be on Jake's roster at Wednesday at 3:01 or 11:01 for 14 fab. He went $10 over that, and he has Adam Thielen there.
I mean, I feel like I'm not the one to be able to pass judgment because I just dropped 35 bones on Joshua Palmer, but my thought behind it is he's my new Mike Williams. RIP, pour one out for Mike Williams. But yeah, Jake's made some interesting moves with fab this year.
Wait, do we know it's Jake? This seems like it could be anyone in a league.
See, the thing is Kenyon Drake also got off practice squad onto the active roster, and he's still on waivers. So I'm a little nervous that we're not all tuned in for whoever Rick Blement is referencing.
Yeah, absolutely. This on the bright side, it is week 3, and I talked to Rick Blement, and apparently this guy only has 33 more fab left.
Well, at least he probably used, if he spent that, if he spent 32, so then he had like another 30, 40. So his roster's probably got to be in pretty good shape, I would imagine. Like he just had to fill a couple holes and throw
I
a
heard
couple
he's got
darts at the wall here.
dogs like Michael Thomas, Dalvin Cook, Quinton Johnson, who's averaged 1.7 points a game.
Actually, that's who I'm surprised hasn't seen the starting lineup on his team is Michael Thomas. He's been decent. Like he's been getting some like good targets on that team. If I was him, I would start him over DJ Moore every day of the week. Just wait till famous Jameis gets in there and starts dealing.
Baby.
All right, famous Jameis on the Jets.
What's the question?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Oh,
yes.
So you never answered my text message today, Dan. What do you think about?
I don't answer questions about the Jets anymore.
All right. You turned a new leaf. He just answered his last one. I got the last question. Just like I played with Will Zalatoris on his last time he ever played with Randos, I got Dan's last Jets question. All right. Why are you not going forward?
I thought of that more as a famous James question.
Berg, your PowerPoint's broken.
Or is that it?
We have like 20 topics.
That is.
Oh, that's it.
Let's go back to the topics and just ad lib some of them.
Yeah.
All right.
What?
Oh, general discussion topics. Oh, I thought these were
I think-
slides. That's why we should have looked at it.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, 2024.
Okay, let's go through them quickly.
Deep cuts. Week 3 results. We talked about that. But
skip.
Don't care about it. Standings.
We talked
good.
about it. Injuries.
Check. Week 4 predictions. All right, let's talk about that real quick. We have got. We're gonna do a quick rapid fire here. Let me pull it up. We have got a couple people on the podcast going head to head. We have got Peter versus Chris. Who do you got in that one, Dan?
I'm just pulling up the matchup, but looking at it, it is going to be. I got Big Chrissy on this one.
Ayuk will see my starting lineup. I just got to flip him in there. Got to drop somebody. Decide who to drop. So,
I still think even if you put Ayuk in there, I got Lil Chrissy.
Wait, Lil Chrissy or Big Chrissy? Extra thick and ready to dip.
Hopefully, Alyssa doesn't watch this.
That's the chip I ate.
Oh yeah.
All right, we've got Chris. Oh wait, sorry. No, we've got Nick versus Cole.
Nick.
I've got Nick. Loki, I think Cole has actually one of the worst roster. He still has Najee Harris in his starting lineup. I did offer Madrid. I said McKinnon and Ferguson for Najee. I think Najee's as good on the waivers as those two are on the waivers. So
I mean, look at the bright side. He's firing out Taysom Hill.
I know Taysom Hill got 2. And then he's also got Khalil Herbert. I have Khalil Herbert in my other league. And if you want to talk about a guy who is worse than Najee Harris on a worse team, let's talk about Khalil Herbert. But hey, he's got Ray Rice on his team now. He needs Austin Eckler back in the worst way and some extra help. Chris, who do you got?
I got Nick. Little Nicky.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen has been a dog for him.
We've got Toy versus Jadinkalaj Morgan, whatever that guy is from Key and Peele. Jake is the favorite. Don't look now.
I'm taking Toy.
Wow.
I am taking Toy as well. He also has question marks against Jones and Connor.
Yeah, and Arizona's playing San Francisco, so they might be down.
However, they have proven like Kyron Williams is a bat. I had my first week he played him and he put up 28 against a couple of his worst. Like one was a receiving touchdown. but seem to be maybe have little holes. You can run on them a little bit. The Cardinals are better than we're giving credit for. But I will take Toy, and he moves to 2-2. This could be the matchup of the week. I think that this one is a very this has a lot of implications with records and actually playoffs already. We have got Team the People's Champion. I saw you actually changed your name the other quickly.
Yeah, Berg changed it over the weekend.
Oh, versus Zayboys. So who do we oh my god, he has put in Brock Purdy over Trevor Lawrence.
That's a good move, honestly. I got myself over the Gay Boys, but I think that it's really going to depend on how my running backs do. I got a stable, and currently they haven't been running so hot. So we'll see if they can get back on track this week and find the end zone. Josh Jacobs can't score a touchdown. Bijan has not scored a touchdown this season. And Travis Etienne has week 1, and that's it.
Wait, Bijan had one week 1, I thought.
He had a receiving touchdown.
Oh. No, receiving. Yeah, he had a receiving
touchdown week 1.
I need some MF and touchdowns.
Yeah, your Boss Jacobs one is who I've been most surprised with this year.
Yeah. So I need some more out of Bosch Jacobs.
I'm gonna roll Dan on this one.
Stuck at Gable is.
I think that Cardinals at San Francisco. I don't think Purdy's gonna throw. I think they're just gonna run the shit out of the ball, and they're just gonna bleed that clock. They're gonna get up a lot, and they're just gonna bleed it. 49ers defense is really good. They're better than the Cowboys. So what the Cardinals did to the Cowboys last week, I don't think they're going to do to San Francisco. In San Francisco too.
Yeah, I'll roll with Elzag here. I'll take Shaw. I think if Dan has to pick the right 2 receivers, it is Bob Barker, Price is Right, spinning the wheel. Which 2 receivers will Dan pick, and will he hit the 2 right ones? And that is how Dan's season has rolled thus far. And there's going to be points that he's going to need out of those, even in losses that are going to be sitting on his bench. Is it going to be the mid-tier wide receiver that goes for 16 that week, or does he pick the one that goes for 7? We will see. Stay tuned at the end of every week. But Kenneth Walker has been incredible. So he plays the New York Giants D, who we saw,
they're going to tighten things up this week.
Yeah, I mean, AJ Brown against Washington, Jefferson against Carolina. Ooh, I mean, the Minnesota wants to go and make a statement. I mean, they're going to get Jefferson the ball. So I'm gonna go with and also an AJ Brown revenge game. He dropped like 3 touchdowns. So I will go with the Zay Boys. We've got Baby Don't Hurts Me No More versus All You Need Is Love. Could be a preview of the Toilet Bowl. I'll roll with Matt Nick because based off his projections, he probably will score 138 points this week.
Yeah, he went dead last, first in points, dead last. I don't think he goes first, but I think his team is coming back. Looking at the matchups, he's got some tough ones, but I'll still take Matt Nick.
Yeah, I'll roll Matt Nick.
I actually don't hate Hebert's team. I don't think it's that bad. I think he's got Lamar, he's got Ramondre, he's got Tony Pollard, Amon-Ra. He's got some pieces, and then he's got if the Christian Watson thing's just ridiculous. Like, I don't know, like he's supposed to play Thursday, but man, we've seen people get shot, aka Brian Robinson, and come back in 2 weeks, and this man's had a nagging hammy for 3 years. All right, last one is Harlan's Hogs versus the Milkman. I think this will be a really good matchup. What do you guys got here?
Yeah, Mr. Milk.
I got Milk. I think the Buffalo Miami game, I think that's going to be electric. I think there's going to be points scored in that game. It's not cold yet there, so it's not going to be too bad. I think Miami will be just fine up there, and I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I'm going to take Milk. I think Fields goes for 25 plus. I think Tyreek goes for like 35. I think James Cook has a big day. Yeah. And I just don't think Sam Laporta will have exactly what he had. He had a crazy week. So, cool. We've got our matchup predictions in. Kickers, don't really care about them. Dolphins, they're really good. Mike McDaniel is awesome.
Dolphins have not played a team with a win.
Okay. We will carry on. Jerome Ford, when will he see the field after being spent 90 fab on him? Maybe one of the most interesting waiver moves of all time if you just are completely blocking for a guy who says he doesn't care about the league. But then again, goes out and spends 94 fab on Jerome Ford and then says, well, I was not going to pay attention to the waiver in future weeks, so I might as well use it all up now.
Love that mentality. You got to know yourself.
Next team, we already talked about that. Falcons running backs. I mean, it seems like they either both go or they don't go. Kind of seems like as one goes, the other goes.
I need some MF and Bijan.
Yeah.
Like I need air.
Sorry, can I go back and make just one comment about the Jerome Ford thing? I was just looking at Milk's team. He has 6 running backs. That is incredible.
He's got Milk has 6 running backs, so he's got
Williams on his IR, Elliott, Ford, Chuba Hubbard, Cook, and Mixon.
Ever since he got Chuba Hubbard he's always been a big Chuba Hubbard fan ever since McCaffrey went down that first year and he went and got him. Yeah, it's sort of his calling card.
All right, keep going. Sorry.
Favorite memes. What's our favorite meme from the week?
Don't have one. Hated them all.
I think Nick's was pretty good.
Nick's was good. Actually, yeah.
The Super Bowl one holding up the newspaper or whatever.
No, not that one. I really enjoyed the Will Zalatoris one.
Oh, sing a little Will. Also, Matt Hebert posts something in the chat. He is a crowd pleaser in that chat.
When he comes out, people are
ready.
Out. People are ready.
Oh, best waiver ad so far.
Puka, probably.
Puka, Jerome, Kyron. Do you know Kyron played 100% of snaps?
I did know that.
And he also fielded the punts. I'm gonna put a call into McVay to tell him to take him off punts, please.
I hope he breaks his leg.
Worst draft picks. Who is
Bird.
all right? Tell us from your teams each who was your worst draft pick. On my team, it was without a doubt Antonio Gibson.
I would say right now, Josh Jacobs, he sucks.
Yeah, in the second, yeah. Chris, what's yours?
Well, I want to say Debo or Kirk Cousins, but they ended up beating me. Well, Kirk Cousins ended up beating me last week, but I did get Kenneth Walker for Debo, which got me T. Higgins. So I guess probably Debo with where I got him at.
Yeah, Chris, you drafted Laporta too, right?
I had Laporta and Cousins. And those two absolutely decimated me last week. And I drafted Laporta because I knew he was going to be good. Iowa tight ends, they're always good. They're the top 3 in the NFL right now. Is Laporta, Kittle, and then the Hawk. Those are the top 3 tight ends right now in the NFL. They're all Iowa tight ends.
8 fucking men.
So,
all right. Keep going.
Matt Nick.
Goofball.
It's just the CJ Stroud thing.
Kareem Hunt.
I will never see a roster in fantasy this season. Will not play a game.
Or not see the field. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless Jerome Ford gets Jordan Love. Start him.
He's progressively getting better and better.
Dallas D.
-2 points.
Outside of that, fucking studs. MLB playoffs. Brewers win it all.
No one's even heard of the MLB. Stupid sport.
Jets.
I'm saying prayers for Sunday night. If Taylor Swift is going to be at the game, she's going to be leaving in a Zach Wilson jersey. Stay tuned.
Maybe Trevor Siemian. Weather.
Seaman Demon. Weather, yeah, stinks.
For the Carolinas. Burke Buzzins, Chris.
Sucks.
Absolute dog, apparently. Owning real estate.
Seems
Chris
like the thing to do.
Stoner. What's it like?
What?
Was it everything Manchesky cracked it up to be, owning some real estate?
I don't own real estate.
Yeah, we're gonna do the whole the bank does thing here.
Oh, the house? About a house?
Yes, that's real estate.
Oh yeah, about a house.
What the fuck?
All right, we're dragging on here. Let's keep moving.
Oh God, you need to go to Manchesky School of Real Estate
On God.
I
ASAP.
stopped watching Dan's videos. He sends way too many.
All right, Taylor Swift, love her.
Gonna be-
I was okay. So actually, here's my question on Taylor Swift. I'm trying to comprehend Taylor Swift as like a cultural phenomenon. Like, give me an example of Taylor Swift. Like, give me something else that is like anywhere near. Is it like a guy, like guys that are into golf and Tiger Woods? Like, they're just like that's their personality. Like, is
Girls
that, like,
have no hobbies and they need something. So
Like,
listening to her music is a hobby.
I just don't. I can't comprehend it.
We're doing it right now. Let's talk about the Jets. Let's talk about fantasy football. Let's talk about this dumb celebrity. It's the same thing.
Also,
Yeah, but like to the level that she had, I don't know, man.
But
We-
we're making a podcast about fucking fantasy football.
yeah, but
We're
you can win. You can win something,
on-
and it brings us together as friends. But like Taylor Swift, people just like idolize her.
yeah, it's weird. It's like
It's
God
cool.
or the Beatles.
I do not get it, and I don't know if I ever will. But I think the closest thing I can say is like Tiger Woods coming back and winning the Masters, and like how guys like reacted to that.
Everyone booed.
Yeah. Did you see Jake McManus's stories? He's back with the Eagles again. Okay. T Higgins.
No
Man,
idea.
he's got the drops like AJ Brown, but Chris, I still like that trade for you. I don't like. I think that getting Josh Palmer was big, but I think that you, my assessment on your team was that you, I think Mike Williams went down, and you got too worried about what your receiver. You have good receivers even with him going down. Like you were fine.
He's my new Mike Williams.
What was that?
my
Yeah, he's your
Mike
new Mike
Williams.
Williams. Wichita.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
The Wichita State Shockers have had a really good basketball team. Isn't that where Austin Reeves went? Now he's like a really good player. So, yeah, Shockers. DeMar Hamlin. Is he back?
Yeah, he's back on the fucking bench where he belongs.
He hasn't played yet. He sat out the first 3 weeks.
He hasn't
Stevens
sat
Point.
out. He's been benched. Stevens Point movie. The
Movie.
Ibiza of the Midwest.
All right. 2024 election.
Go ahead, Chris.
It'll be a shit show.
What seriously? What are they going to do with? What are they going to do with the debates when they have when Biden goes out there?
It's gonna be sock puppet style.
It should be him versus McConnell,
Oh my god, that would be electric.
and whoever can outlast the other, their party gets the presidency. They neither of them get to be the president, but their respective party gets to pick who they want to appoint as presidency.
Yeah, McConnell has the perfect face for like when you nut but you keep sucking.
Wait, what?
You know, like the meme, like when you like they say like when you nut but she keeps sucking
Yeah.
or whatever. Like he has the perfect face for it.
McConnell does, yeah. Do you
McConnell's gonna be Shaw's face, walking in the hot dog suit.
Do you think if they did that McConnell would try and get into Biden's head by riding in on a bicycle?
Oh, this is funny.
Sloppy Joe.
All right, book recommendations.
Just read a book.
The Facebook.
No, real book. Whole one, cover to cover.
Oh, the
On a
places
plane.
you'll go.
No, dickhead. The 5 dysfunctions of a team.
Number 1, Bijan. Number 2, Josh Jacobs. Number 3, Chris Godwin. Number 4, Deshaun Watson. And number 5, it's never the Hawks' fault.
The 5 dysfunctions, it was basically a fable about Team Berg going to Nashville, screaming at each other on the field, not being able to make up
This has
their
been a
minds
great
on
podcast.
plays.
Thanks for having me on,
Over
guys. I'm not listening
complexity.
to this. I've listened to it for 3 years.
I thought you were talking about Team Berg and the PowerPoint, but wow, you went a different direction.
Different direction. It's just dysfunctional teams. It's not something that I'll be a part of now that I read that book.
Yeah, well, I hope we can all go out there and read it. And I hope that starts to show in your management style going forward.
Yeah, this week I'm reading Drive. What motivates you?
Oh, I just watched his TED Talk yesterday at work. They had
Well,
us watch it.
I will be reading his book.
What are you reading that for?
The Dan Miller Book Club. Looking to read some books. Just better myself.
Look at you. Turning a new leaf. Chris, any book recommendations? I know you're a big fan of what was that movie that they came
Dr.
out with?
Seuss.
Yeah, where the crawdads sing. That was a good book, right? You like that one?
The book. I actually did read that one. I think the book before that, though, would have been like elementary school, like the Junie B. Jones books. So,
Captain Underpants.
Captain
Big
Underpants.
Captain Underpants fan.
Me too.
Yeah. It was also Hunger Games. Hunger Games was a good read.
Not
Also,
me.
the Maze
me.
Runner was really good. Some of those are really good. So, anywho, anybody else have any other topics that we want to talk through? I think that this was entertaining, informative, big brain fantasy. If you smash the under on fights, we didn't have one. We had almost one that bubbled over, but we contained it as I switched out of if I switched the focus of Team Berg. So I appreciate you all coming on the podcast this evening. What would you like to leave our viewership with? Who
Can't
you
wait
got
to
this
come back
weekend?
again.
USA or Europe?
USA.
Oh, USA.
USA all the way, baby. They need an extra half point to win. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that was it. That's going to be what they're doing in the stands. And oh, baby, is that going to get in the heads of the Euros?
Baby.
Dan, who you picking to beat the streak tonight?
He went off. Freddie Frangus. Keeping it real, baby.
Oh, baby, we're riding the Frangus train into the ground.
Yeah, I thought about picking 2 guys today, which would have been ill-advised, but I'm really feeling good about Ronald Acuna.
Rangus, a Kangas.
So let's.
Also, last thing on Beat the Streak, I do really appreciate Nick still making picks each day, restarting his streak. Like yesterday, he picked Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. He's back up to a streak of 1.
Oh yeah, because they had a doubleheader and he picked Mookie in the wrong game.
Yeah, in the wrong game. But Nick has been he's mathematically in the money. Can't mathematically get any better. But baby, is he picking? He must be going for a Wander Franco or a Tim Anderson player card.
I cannot for the life of me realize how I have not gotten the Chocolate King Timmy A as a player card. I do that. I do everything every single day, and I have for the last 2 years.
Dan, you are a legend. There is nobody else with legend status. It is legend, all-star, Hall of Famer, jersey retired MVP, future star, captain, all MLB, all-star, future star.
I do it every single day. Everything.
Let's be done. We've already lost everybody at this point. Nobody's listening to dialogue between you two at this point. So why don't we just hang it up?
I love that. That's why we got Pat on the phone here.
We'll see you again next week. I enjoyed being here, but I got 2 brats that have been staring at me for 20 minutes that are probably ice cold now, but I'm still going to eat them anyways because I love glizzies and I love them going down my throat.
A brat and a glizzy, bro.
It's not a glizzy.
See you, boys.
Peace.